Venata has been hugging the bottom groove since the get-go. Przybylski's found some room upstairs. Trimming into that lead, it's 0.6 of a second and shrinking. Baldick with a challenge on the outside, and the car sideways is Cody Carlson, but there's a mess of cars off of turn number 1, including Tanner Byholm in the 4. And Cole Spacek on the 22 short, Cody Carlson the 32. His car damaged at the bottom of turn number 2. All youngsters. Another rookie, Paul Suzik, taking the 91 car off of turn number 3. And he is done for the event. Cody Carlson is taking the 32 car to the pit area off of turn number 1. If he goes to the work area to have any work done, he can still return to this event. Before they get the green flag out. One car being pushed over to its pit area. Oh, that's a 6-cylinder. Never mind. Sorry. Now, we did notice that Paul Suzik's 91 car did go to the pit area as well, but he went off of turn number 3, and so he is unable to return to the event. 91. Again, we want to mention to the winner of this event a $50 bonus. Compliments of Joe Sharp and the gang at Topside Tavern in Barksdale. It's very nice of him, I thought. Alex Venata will have the point. Rick Przybylski running second will have his choice of inside or outside of row number 2. And the 99 of Neil Baldick. And the 25 of Jesse Aho. And the 7 of Taylor Luthner. Strong runner in his first appearance here this year. Taylor Luthner in that 7 car and George Dahlbeck in the 23D. Tied for the track lead for most ever Midwest Modified feature wins with 6 each. A tough break for the rookie from Phillips, Cole Spacek in the 22 short. Getting dragged off of the turn 1 pit exit by one of our ABC Raceway wrecker crews. And so, the night ends for that ride. It is Venata in the 41 since the get-go. Przybylski in the P1, opting for the outside of row number 2, and then Neil Baldick getting the inside line. Then it's Jesse Aho in the 25, and here comes Taylor Luthner in the 7. Look out. Trying to split the gap going into turn 3. He'll slide up the hill ever so slightly. We've got a 4-car battle for the lead. Przybylski settles that in a hurry as he works the high groove. And Przybylski pulling up alongside Venata at the line for the lead. Drag race. Down the back chute out of turn 2. It's Przybylski, your leader. bringing Luthner with. Przybylski getting up in the soft stuff at the top of turn 4, and Venata comes back with a spot, and Luthner's in there in the mix for second contact as Przybylski's car gets airborne for just a moment. He gathers it up. He'll lose some spots. Venata starting to pull away now ever so slightly. Down the back chute, his lead over a second. The Massa cars for second spot is a bunch, and now we've got smoke coming out of the back of the P1 of Przybylski. He may have some serious damage to that ride as he's faded. And now slow up in turn number 2. And that car may be stopping on the back chute very shortly. Venata, your leader, Dahlbeck up to second. And that brings a caution flag out as Przybylski's car slowing to a stop down the back straightaway. And we'll check the scoring. It should be 10 down and 5 to go, as Przybylski will need an assist to the pits after a strong run early in this one. But a slight bobble in turn 2, and as he was coming back, Luthner was right there, the two of them battling for the spot. And contact in turn 2 sent Przybylski up in the air for the slightest little moment. Here we see Chris Bretting down the front straightaway, and now trying to get to the turn 1 pit exit with some right rear fender damage. Hopefully nothing serious. I'm thinking the P1 of Przybylski, that is rear end issues after that contact with the 7 car a lap or so back. So it'll be 10 down and 5 to go when we get this one restarted. Alex Venata has led it from the get-go. As they clear Rick Przybylski's ride from the turn 3 pit exit on the hook of one of our ABC Raceway records. Here's your restart with 5 to go. Alex Venata from Minocqua, the 41. George Dahlbeck, the 23D's got second spot. He opts for the outside of row number 2. To the inside is Neil Baldock. Then the 7 of Taylor Luthner, the 9 of Travis Nye, the 42 of Paul Nisnik, the 25A of Jesse Aho, the 7X is Dwayne Dunbar, the 4 is Tanner Byholm, the 05R of Rob Weber. That's your top 10 on the restart. Dahlbeck working outside on Venata for the lead. And he'll sweep around for the top spot. George Dahlbeck working the outside groove to get by Venata. He will finally clear. Nye to the outside, working against Luthner. That's for third spot. Laps winding down. Dahlbeck upstairs. Nye challenging Venata on the outside for second. And Nye will clear for second spot. Venata back to third. Luthner fourth and Aho fifth. White flag waving. George Dahlbeck in the 23D. Dalbeck by 1.1 seconds under the white flag, coming across the start-finish line with the win. WISSOTA Midwest Modified feature win in the books here on Ashland Area Chamber of Commerce night, and it is his 7th career win in the WISSOTA Midwest Modifieds, 10th all-time for the number 23D of George Dalbeck from Ironwood, Michigan. Your unofficial top 10, second to the 9 of Travis Nye, third to the 41 of Alex Venata. Nice run for him. The 7 of Taylor Luthner, the 25A of Jesse Aho, rounding out your unofficial top 5. 6 through 10, the 99 of Neil Baldick, the 42 of Paul Nisnik, the 05R of Rob Weber, the 7X of Dwayne Dunbar, and the 4 of Tanner Byholm coming back for a top 10 run. Again, top 5 in our features cross the infield intercomp scale to make sure they weigh in the appropriate post-race minimum weight. And George Dalbeck now clears the scales, and we'll head to the Como Oil and Propane Victory Lane, where we will hear what he has to say with Skip Hunter from race night, to be heard before every racing program on 93.3 FM WBSZ. Climbing out of the race car, his 10th feature win of his career and number 7 in the Midwest Modifieds at his best all time in that division here in Ashland. Your defending track champion with the feature win on night number 2 of the season from Ironwood, Michigan, George Dalbeck.
Woo! There we go. There you go. Got your car back, huh?
Yeah, it was gone last week. I know somebody took it. Somebody dropped it off this week. I don't know. It was bad last week. We did everything. I got to thank my pit guys, Don Muzzy, Casey Ryla, Bo Ryla. We started at the front and went to the back. After last week, I said, man, this ain't my car. I got to thank my sponsors, Joe Shirtcheck, CWO Ashland, Section 12 Automotive, Ryan Obie for building me one beautiful motor, Gogevic Range Bank, who else? Stepyard Brothers, Delich Sales, Ashland, my family, everybody that comes to watch me. Thank yous, guys.
George Dalbeck, your Midwest Modified feature winner.
WISSOTA Super Stocks rolling out a trackside, now 20-lap A-Main on Ashland Area Chamber of Commerce night. And this will be another Northern Clearing Fast Lap bonus race. Driver that posts the fastest lap in this one, a $50 bonus. Speaking of $50, George, you got another $50 coming to you, compliments of Topside Tavern of Barksdale with your win in the WISSOTA Midwest Mod feature. Congratulations. WISSOTA Superstock 20-lap A-Main. Here we go on the pole from Superior, Dave Flynn in the 29F alongside of Ken Truscott from Greenland, Michigan in the 22T. Row number 2 to the inside, Greg Kuklinski from Ironwood, Michigan, the 80. Scott Lawrence from Superior in the 77. Row 3, Nick Oreskovich, a heat winner earlier from Mason in the 21, and Charlie Anderson, first night here from Ironwood in the 50. Row number 4, it's Kurt Myers driving the 33 car. He's out of Cameron. Randy SpaceX, last week's feature winner, the number 22 is from Phillips. Row 5, Sean Revord from Superior, the 95, alongside Joe Olson from Superior in the 3. Willie Johnson from Superior in the 23, and Terry Craney from Colby in the 23E, making up row number 6. Corey Casari from Montreal in the 1, and Dave Elliott from Minocqua in the 4X in row 7. $20-lap WISSOTA Superstock A feature. Here we go. Dave Flynn has got Ken Truscott looking over the right shoulder. As a matter of fact, Truscott down the back chute with a momentum. Truscott way up in the soft stuff at the top of turn 4, and Flynn will hold on. Scott Lawrence working inside on Truscott for second spot. Lawrence challenging Flynn on the inside. We've seen this before. For about 2 or 3 years now, this has been a battle. Lawrence continuing to challenge, but Flynn with the outside line's got the run. Holds on to the top spot. Further back, Truscott holding down third spot. Kuklinski fourth. Spacek fifth. Oreskovich to the inside on Myers. That is for sixth. Lawrence closing up on Flynn once again in turns 3 and 4. Flynn will hold him off down the front chute. The lead is a half a second at best. Lawrence trying the high side once again in turns 3 and 4. Flynn slides up to block. Good move there to hold on to the top spot. Good battles throughout. Flynn and Lawrence up front. Truscott by himself in third. Then it's Kuklinski up high. Spacek down low. Your battle for fourth. Lawrence on a run to the inside down the front chute for the lead. Not yet. Flynn will take the momentum off the high side down the back chute and hold on. Kuklinski and Spacek back there side by side for fourth spot. Myers high groove. Oreskovich down low. That's for sixth. Again, Lawrence trying to make a run off of turn 2. Flynn holding him off. Good one going in the Wissota Superstock A-Main. Past the halfway point. Dave Flynn holding the top spots. Scott Lawrence throwing everything at him at the kitchen sink. Truscott just back a little ways comfortably in third. Spacek taking fourth away from Kuklinski. Lawrence getting way outside and losing a lot of ground this time by. The lead now 1 1/4 seconds for Flynn. Back there in fourth spot as they go into turn 3. Kuklinski challenging Spacek down low for the spot. And Oreskovich trying to hug the bottom. Working against Myers. That's for sixth. Charlie Anderson and Willie Johnson with a nice battle for eighth. And the caution flag is out. And hang on, Greg Kuklinski's around up in turn number 4. I think that's after the fact, but we've got a car around the bottom of turn number 1. I believe that is Terry Craning in the 23E. It is. 13 straight before the yellow comes out for Craning, I believe, in turn number 1. All right, with everything straightened away, restart ready to go. 13 down, 7 to go. Flynn, your leader. Lawrence is going to try and work the outside against him. That gives Truscott the bottom groove. Spacek 4th, Kuklinski 5th, Myers 6th, Oreskovich 7th, Anderson 8th, Johnson 9th, but Johnson and Anderson both working either side of Myers for position. Spacek downstairs, getting by Truscott for 3rd. And bringing Kuklinski with him to 4th. But Flynn continuing to lead the way. Smooth line for the 29F tonight. As he and Lawrence continue to try and pull away from the rest of the field. Spacek now 3rd, Kuklinski 4th, Truscott 5th, and Oreskovich 6th in a bunch. Final 5. Flynn leading. Lawrence is right there on his trunk lid. Problems for Jolson, the 3-car slow off of turn 4, and will coast down the front chute and head for the turn 1 pit exit. The car does not sound good at all. Flynn in the 29. Lawrence closes on him coming off of turn 4. Spacek and Kuklinski in another dandy for 3rd. And Truscott and Oreskovich right there for 5th. Laps winding down. 2 to go this time by. Dave Flynn's got the white flag in front of him and Scott Lawrence right behind him. Kuklinski has gotten by Spacek for 3rd, coming off of turns 3 and 4. This is for the win. Can Flynn hold him off? Does Lawrence have anything left? Dave Flynn, your winner. Dave Flynn from Superior, the number 29F, with his 5th career feature win, holding off one of the best in the business, as he has had to do for so many times the last couple of years. Your unofficial top 10, Flynn, your winner in the 29F, Scott Lawrence in 2nd in the 77, 3rd to Greg Kuklinski in the 84th, to the 22 of Randy Spacek. And 5th to the 29T. 5th to the 29T of Ken Truscott. 6 through 10, the 21 of Nick Oreskovich, the 23 of Willie Johnson. The 50 of Charlie Anderson, the 33 of Kurt Myers, and the 1 of Corey Kasari. And again, that's your unofficial top 10. Northern Clearing Fast Lap bonus goes to Scott Lawrence with a time of 18.207 seconds. $50 compliments of Northern Clearing of Ashland for the Fast Lap bonus in our Wissota Superstock feature. Awaiting your feature winner down in the Como Oil and Propane Victory Lane, patiently waiting, is Skip Hunter from Race Night. As again, the top 5 cross the infield intercom scale. And your winner now rolls into the Como Oil and Propane Victory for the first time in 2012. He had his hands full throughout, but he did a fantastic job picking up his 5th career feature win in Ashland, giving up for the 29F, Dave Flynn.
Back to victory lane once again, and you put on a heck of a show up front with Scotty.
Yeah, that was a great race. We were racing each other clean. I seen him get under me a few times, and just hoping I can hang on. He's a tough guy to beat here.
You had a little bit more 4 month straightaways.
Yeah, the car was really hooking up good. This is a new car, and everything was working great. I got to thank Rick Milankovich, my dad, my wife Amanda, my pit crew. We got my brother out here racing tonight, so it's a great night.
Congratulations. Dave Flynn, your feature winner in the Superstocks, ladies and gentlemen.
Back-to-back nights for the 29F. Congratulations to Dave Flynn from Superior on his feature win here in Ashland last night in Superior as well. Wissota modified feature 20 laps. Here we go. Sophomore season in the Big Mods, Kevin Eaters on the pole in the 22Es alongside a veteran Bill Byholm from Glidden in the 4. Row 2 to the inside. Steve from River Falls, the 99, is alongside of Jeff Spacek from Phillips in the 22. Row 3, please welcome back Destin Lorimore from Superior in the 90. He lines up alongside Al Utanen from Superior in the 98. Row 4, it's Steve Stewart, defending track champion from Ashland, the 4X, alongside Kurt Myers from Cameron in the 91, doing double duty again tonight. Row 5 inside, it's Ross Leitner from Washburn, the 37. Row 5 outside, last week's feature winner, Jared Loos from Loyal in the 44. Row 6 inside, it's Scott Hudak from Ashland in the black and blue 00. Outside, it's Pat Cook in the blue number 32 from Washburn. Row 7, Rick Revord from Superior, the 95 in. Jeff Tardy from Hibbing in the 67 out. Row 8, it's Robbie Bunkelman from Abbotsford in the black and green 00. And alongside of him, it's Paul Nisnik from Medford in the 42, also doing double duty tonight. Saw him earlier in the mid-mod. 20 lap Wissota modified A-Main on Ashland Area Chamber of Commerce night at the races here at the ABC Raceway. Glad you could be here for it. Here we go. Eater wins the whole shot. Byholm switches lanes, tries to dive to the inside. That forces Spacek up the hill. Levasseur inside. They're 4 wide behind him for 4th. Problems for Pat Cook, slow off of turn 3. And hang on! And a hard hit to the wall. Steve Levasseur is around. Kurt Myers tagged the guardrail in turn 4 hard, and then several cars behind them spinning to avoid. Jeff Tardy 67, Scott Hudak's 00, and Rick Revord's 95. Levasseur was all kinds of sideways in the 99. The window net is down on that car. Don't know. He needs a hook. He's pointing with his thumbs. I need a pickup. And Kurt Myers sideways into turn 1 wall, and he hit hard, and he takes the 91 to the pits. So 91, Kurt Myers heading for the workstation. Hopefully they can get that car fixed. It just seemed like Levasseur's car just locked up, and the back end just came out right out from under him. And Al Myers' car is stopped in the driveway area behind turn 1, so he may need a wrecker as well. And now Kurt Myers is crawling out of the car over in behind turn number 1. The helmet's off. He's checking the damage to that car. So Myers' night, unfortunately, is also done, as he'll need some assistance from the wrecker crew. And we've got a piece of tin wedged between 2 of the guardrails. Their safety crews are over there trying to rip that out of there. Maybe to no avail. Myers very dejected, checking over the 91 car. He slapped the guardrail on the driver's side pretty hard. But he is up and walking around, which is a good sign. But not very happy about the results, as the ABC Raceway wrecker crew there to assist him. Wrecker 1. Wrecker number 2 heading to down the back straightaway with Steve Levasseur on the hook with a busted car. I believe this will be a complete restart. Am I correct? So we're saying we do not have a lap completed, so we'll do a complete restart with Eder and Byholm on the front row. And then it should be Stewart and Spacek, I believe, are going to end up as row number 2, as Destin Lorimore, I believe, is being pinned for the incident. Yeah, he does. Everybody ahead of him is out. So the caution lights are down, and they're going to restart this one next time around. Eder and Byholm again in row 1. Stewart finds himself on the inside of row 2 alongside of Spacek. Then it's Leitner and Utanen, Hudak and Los, Revord and Cook, Bunkelman and Tardy, Lorimore and Nisnik. Here we go. Eder wins a drag race through turn 1, but he slides up the hill. The door is open. Here comes Byholm. And problems again for Pat Cook coming off of turn 2, and that car is slow down the back straightaway. Can he get out of there in time? Eder trying to hold off Byholm, Stewart, Spacek, Utanen, and Leitner for the early lead. And Cook will make it to turn 2 on time, and it doesn't matter. We got a mess. Turn number 2, several cars involved, a couple of them sideways to begin with. Spacek in the 22, Los in the 44 already sideways, and then after the fact, both double O's of Hudak and Bunkelman and the 90 of Lorimore together in the corner. Big one over in turn number 2, but Los has got the 44 running on its own. Does he have a flat left? In fact, getting away under their own power, except for Bunkelman. And he does get it restarted. But he does have a flat right front tire, and he's going to try and get that to the work area right away. So Bunkelman trying to hustle off the track. And he does. Bunkelman will need some assistance from his pit crew. A flat right front tire on the double O. Eder with the top row to himself. The white number 4 of Bill Byholm scored in second spot. He's got his choice of inside or outside. So he'll opt for the outside of row number 2. The 4X of Steve Stewart will restart third to the inside of row number 2. Then it's the 37 of Ross Leitner, the 98 of Al Utanen, the 44 of Jared Los, the 95 of Rick Revord, the double O of Scott Hudak, the 90 of Destin Lorimore, the 67 of Jeff Tardy, the 42 of Paul Nisnik, and the 22 of Jeff Spacek. Eder will go upstairs. Stewart has worked downstairs against Byholm for second. Utanen to the inside. 98 car looking racy. He's got to run down the back chute against Byholm for third. And around over in turn number 3 is a 67 of Jeff Tardy, and the caution lights will come out. Jeff Tardy, remember, in his rookie season in the big mod, so just getting some lap time in, some seat time into that number 67. Very talented superstock driver from Hibbing, Minnesota. Trying his hand on the big mods this season. The guy's good. He'll get the hang of that thing pretty soon. Don't worry about that. That's a no-doubter. It'll be Kevin Eder once again starting on the point by himself. Steve Stewart opting for the outside of row number 2. Bill Byholm third to the inside. Then the 98 of Al Uton, the 37 of Ross Leitner, the 95 of Rick Revord, the 44 of Jared Lost, the 90 of Destin Lorimore, the 22 of Jeff Spacek, the 00 of Scott Hudak, 42 Paul Nisnik, and the 67 of Jeff Tardy. 2 down and 18 to go on the redo. Ever so cautiously to the cone. Go. Again, Eder working the outside groove, coming off of turn 2 with the momentum. Byholm down low with some bite, working against Stewart for second, sliding up to the tail tire of the 22 of Eder. Uton in 4th, Spacek up to 5th after the early restart from the tail of the grid. But it's Eder and Byholm side by side off of turn 4 for the lead. Uton and inside on Stewart, that's for third. Byholm slides right on up the hill, just about grazing the rear bumper of the 22, but Uten's found something downstairs and now challenging for second. Here comes the veteran from Superior. Al Uten found something to work on downstairs, and it is working. Eder's lead a quarter of a second. Eder holding the inside groove on a very smooth track tonight. Another great track for early May, mid-May. We're going to get to say that all year long. Another great racetrack here in Ashland. A lot of room, a lot of lanes to pass is the case tonight. Eder setting a good pace. And Utenin with some great drive early from the bottom. Spacek inside on Byholm down the back chute. With 8 to go. Working on Byholm. That is for third. They bump. Stewart a ways back to 5th, working against Jared Lois for that spot. The bottom spot on the Greg's Towing and Repair Quality Collision Center scoreboard. Then Ross Leitner in 7th. Destin Lorimore 8th. Rick Revord in 9th. And the battle for 10th between Jeff Tardy and Paul Nisnik. Eder is running a very nice line tonight. It is working well. High off the odd numbers. Nice and smooth through the black. Good momentum off the high side of the speedway. Utenin trying to dig down deep to catch him. Then it is Spacek, Byholm, and Stewart, your top 5. Spacek trying to grab something off the berm, off of turn 2, and he draws to within a car length on Uton, and then your battle for second spot. Spacek trying to work the outside line on Uton and down the back chute as they try and keep pace with Kevin Eder, your leader. Getting down to the final quarter in this one. Eder now trying to hug the bottom coming off of the corners. Spacek outside on Uton for second spot, and he'll stay right on the berm to try and gain on the leader. The 22Es lead about a second and a tenth. And it's staying pretty consistent. Uton hugging the bottoms, maintaining fourth. Good battle for fourth, or maintaining third. Good battle for fourth now as Stewart is regrouped. Actually, a very good battle for fourth. 3 cars wide going through turns 1 and 2. Stewart at the bottom of the 4X. Byholm in the 4, and then Loos in the 44 looking for some space. Next time by, white flag will wave. Can Kevin Eder hold on? And a car stopping up against the guardrail at the top of turn number 4. Hold everything. That is Paul Nisnik's number 42 car stopping. He did not hit hard, but nose first against the guardrail between turns 3 and 4. And now the car rolling backwards under its own power, so hopefully he can get that refired. Don't know what the issue was there. Sorry, weren't looking. But Nisnik does get it going again. He seems to be all right. Paul Nisnik takes the 42 car off the turn 1 pit exit. And it will be a 2-lap shootout, I believe. 3-lap shootout. With Kevin Eder leading, and the 1.1 second lead he had is gone. Spacek restarting on the outside of row number 2. Uton into the inside. Let's see if they've either one of them got anything for the 22E. He has been stout all night. Spacek goes down low, can't do anything with it. Stewart to the outside to third. Here comes Spacek down low, challenging for the lead with 2 to go. Byholm loose coming off of turn 4 in traffic. Spacek and Eder. Spacek down low, Eder up high. Come on, a turn 4 with a white in the air. Dead heat at the stripe. 15 thousandths of a second in favor of Eder. Down the back chute, Eder trying to draw the momentum. He'll have it going into turn number 3. Eder holding that middle groove. Spacek down low at the stripe. Eder by an inch. 2/100ths of a second at the stripe. Kevin Eder edging Jeff Spacek for the Wissota Modified feature win. The rest of your unofficial top 10, Kevin Eder, your winner. Second to Jeff Spacek. Third, Al Utanen in the 98. Fourth, the 44 of Jared Lawson. Fifth, the 4 of Bill Byholm. 6 through 10, the 90 of Destin Lorimore. The 4X of Steve Stewart. The 95 of Rick Revord. The 37. 37 of Ross Leitner. And the 00 of Scott Hudak, your unofficial top 10. And I mean by a bumper width. By the thickness of the bumper. Kevin Eder comes away with a Wissota Modified feature win. It's his second win.